Head on over to G2A and enter Kami's Crystal Cave to get some sweet deals on crystals and more. Remember to click on the lowest price and use the promo code KamiVS to get the best deal. G2A. What's going on, everyone? Kami here, and patch 1.8 is upon us. Like, I'm talking, it's around the corner. It was a long-awaited patch from a lot of us because we expected to see a lot of bug and balance fixes. I mean, that's what they hyped up patch 1.8 to be. And I'll say it's not bad. So the way that I'm going to be structuring this video is I'll start off with, cosmetic stuff, maybe new packs, battle passes, this one specifically for battle pass, and then move on to more gameplay oriented changes like maybe new game modes, new maps, and then of course you have the balance and the bug fixes. So the first thing I want to talk about is gyro controls. Now, gyro controls is just essentially another name for motion controls, and its compatibility is being added to the PS4 and the Switch. It's also going to be usable if you are plugging up a controller to your PC. Now, while I don't play the console or play with the controller at all, I think this is a fantastic change. I know for a lot of people, myself included, when I hear motion controls for aiming, I think no, but apparently it's fantastic. You want to use a combination of your right thumbstick with the motion controls. If you want to make minute adjustments, you move with your controller, and if you want to make big, normal movements, you'll want to use your thumbstick. I'm excited to try it out. The next thing, gifting is being added into the game, and it just allows you to buy a gift, either for 50 crystals, 75 crystals, or 300 crystals, and it can contain a bunch of crap. 50 crystals can contain rare and epic emotes, titles, and MVP poses. 75 crystals can contain rare and epic skins, emotes, weapons, and sprays, and large gifts can contain epic legendary skins, along with 2 rare mounts. Not bad. They've also added in a new DLC pack for $14.99. Now you get 200 crystals, which is essentially worth about $5, 3 million battle pass experience, which has been said to be worth about the first 20 to 23 levels, and an obsidian warhorse, a new mount. Looks pretty sweet, check it out. Now, Battle Pass 3 is coming out with this next patch, 1.8, and what's amazing is all of the skins obtained through the paid route is going to be legendary, and they all look pretty damn legendary. Now, there's actually going to be 4 legendary skins you're going to be able to obtain through here instead of 3. So I'll just let you know what the skin is called, show it on screen, let you listen to a few of the voice lines, and move on to the next one, and we'll fly right through this. First one up is Remix Strix, which you obtain at level 0.
Why can't DJs play pool? 'Cause they always scratch. Your mixtape is trash. I'll sample your track for free. It's great exposure.
The next one is Remix Ceres, which you obtain at level 10.
Warning. The following beat has been classified as a banger. I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. Why was the robot so tired when it finally got home? It had a hard drive. Please insert applause file here.
At level 20, you actually obtain a 3D spray called Light Show. It's like a rave party going on, with the Paladin's crystal being the disco ball. So for the level 31, we have Remix Pepper, and it's essentially a skin for Pip, but it's changed so drastically that it's not Pip anymore. And they wanted to make sure to let people know that this is like Pip, like it's got the same abilities, but it's a whole new persona. This skin's probably gonna get a lot of mixed reviews, but for me personally, I love her.
Let's get this party started! Don't let a DJ wash your dishes. You know they're gonna drop it. Watch your booty. The party don't stop. I'm gonna dance across all your dumb faces.
Level 40, Death Stamp, you get that looks pretty much like Pac-Man, but it's not Pac-Man because that would be copyright. And for the final Battle Pass level 50, you get Remix Genos.
Y'all ready to get this party started? One day you'll be famous. Once I finish my diss track, what's up? You're hot fire. Like my mixtape. Hey, baby, just bob to the beat. Dropping mics, dropping bodies.
I think all these skins look amazing, and while you still have to spend crystals to get them, they're definitely a bang for your buck. Oh, and to also note that there is going to be a kind of an encore version of the Battle Pass. If you were able to proceed through the entire levels of the Battle Pass, you can reset it almost like a prestige and go through it again. And if you get all the way to level 50, you get a Redux Strix, which is like Remix Strix, but black. They also mention that you get a few, bonuses here and there throughout it, but I don't think anything too noteworthy. Here's some other things you can obtain through going through the Battle Pass paid route, including these emotes, MVP poses, the spray. They're also bringing back the festive chest with all the original festive rewards on top of the new Moji skin, Cuddly Moji. Who would have thunk it?
Mr. Snugglesworth is my best friend, and we're here to collect all the toys in the realm. Who wants to go with me? Get fluffed! Hey, play send Mr. Snugglesworth after you. What happened to the cat who ate a ball of yarn? She had mittens!
The last one I want to talk about is they finally have revealed the new Sky rework. Damn, she's thick. And if you want to buy the old default Sky, which is now named Twilight, you'll be able to purchase it for 1 gold during 1.8. Do it, because it'll probably cost a lot more after 1.8. Now, the last skin-related thing is actually related to HRX. I do want to note that HRX, which will be coming up here very soon within a couple of weeks, will be played on 1.7. Now, you can actually obtain a couple of skins if you watch HRX coming up between November 16th to 18th. It's not random anymore, but if you watch for 14 hours, you'll get this Cold Snap Furia. If you watch for 7 hours, you'll get DreamHack Maeve. They also mentioned that you could obtain esports chests. They didn't really specify how long you have to be watching for them to give you those, or, you know, how often though. I just don't know. But on a brighter note, there's no more random drops. Keep note though, you must link your Mixer account to your high-res account to be able to obtain these drops. And really quickly wanted to go over some map related stuff before diving into balance and bugs. Test maps are going to be available, and these maps will be Arid, Hangar, and Rush. Keep in mind these maps are not textured, so you're just looking at like black and white lines. The main thing is figuring out the flow of the map, how it plays, what type of champion it caters to, you know, stuff like that. If you want to play these test maps, you'll need to make sure to go to the quick play settings and enable them. And the last thing is a new TDM map, Dragon Arena. I don't really care about TDM, but it's definitely inspired by the Dragon's Call event. They even say it on the site. There'll be a power-up located in the center building. It provides a 100% ultimate charge on the champion who picks it up, and it respawns every 60 seconds. Other than that, it's a TDM. Now let's move on to the balance. First up is Androxus. They've removed the headshot damage increase, and this will allow you to not be two-shotted if you're squishy. That seems like a pretty good step on reducing burst meta. Now they're not only doing that, but they're kind of counteracting it by giving you an additional ammo bonus for picking up the talent. So now all that Heads Will Roll will do is give you a 3 bonus ammo, no headshot damage boost. Moving on to Drogoz, his fire spit damage has been reduced from 1,000 to 900, something that hasn't been touched on Drogoz since the beginning of time. It's always been a flat 1,000. And Salvo has had its explosion radius reduced. This is something that I've always felt like was just a little bit too big, made it so Spitfire salvos were too easy, and it made it so you just couldn't run from a salvo when it started to come. Like you had to preemptively expect it to come to a certain spot or have some sort of big dash available. Victor has received a nerf. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be cheering in their seats when you hear Shrapnel has had its damage increase removed. That's right, Helvian. Now we can honestly say Shrapnel's fine, by the way. Furia has not really had a buff or nerf. It's kind of a buff, but it's more of a quality of life. They've added in a unique sound on Pyrostrike for allies when Solar Blessing is equipped. So when you throw your beam out and it can heal people, it'll just have the, instead of the same sound as it always is, it'll just have a unique one. So people will hear it and then be like, oh, there comes a heal, I better look around. It's a fantastic quality of life change. Glad they did it. Now Lex has kind of had a nerf, but also a buff, and I don't know how it's really going to affect him, and I'm kind of excited to see how he plays. Starting off, he's had a reduced damage from 350 to 320. That right there, you're saying, that's a nerf, Kami. Easy. Wait. But he's also received an ammo capacity increase from 10 to 12. Okay. Still a bit of a nerf. They also increased the range at which his damage fall off begins, so he can hit from medium to long range for a lot harder, and they reduced the severity of his damage fall off, which, yeah, he does more damage from long range, like I said. Do want to also note that they've reduced the damage of his In Pursuit from 1050 to 960. That's to kind of counteract the fact that In Pursuit will be doing more damage from longer distance. So they just wanted to shave off a little bit of that top end. He still will be limited by his accuracy, so you can't spam the crap out of your bullets, but you can still get a good 3 or 4 shots off from mid to long range pretty accurately, and it's gonna do more damage. I look forward to the day where I don't see every single Lex running around spamming dashes and yelling, Lex! I'm kidding. That's my favorite thing in the world to do. You caught me. Now Willow had a huge nerf, reducing the Nightshade damage from 800 to 500. And they've also reduced the anti-healing duration of Dead Zone after exiting it from 2 seconds to 1 second. Apparently Willow was the one that started this whole burst meta. I think it's crazy. I never really considered Willow that great. I see her banned all the time, but apparently PPL players, it's like top pick potential. I don't know. She's never really been that big of a deal to me, but in the end it makes sense. They're giving her 800 damage on a right click that essentially doesn't really do any damage in the first place. So not only did it give a massive amount of cauterize, but is doing so much damage. Again, great step in the right direction. And lastly, for Kinessa, they've reduced the headshot damage increase on Eagle Eye from 50% to 25%, which means a headshot with Eagle Eye will instead do 75% instead of 100% altogether. You can still one-shot flanks for the most part, but supports will be able to survive a one-shot, making them actually being able to react to getting hit with a Kinessa. I think it's a good change. Being one-shot by anything is just not fun. Now, the last thing we're to go over is bug fixes, and I'm just gonna mainly cover the ones that I've come across or maybe have heard a lot of people griping about. If you want to see all of them, remember, link down in the description. So Ashe fixed an issue where assert dominance that led to a jittery jump experience. I've had that just when you're going up for an ult, just feels awful. Same thing with Terminus, which has also been fixed for his jittery Shatterfall experience. There's also an issue where his Playing God and Strength of Stone card didn't work. That seems important. Fernando has fixed an issue where you could not headshot Fernando from certain angles. Whew, thank you, Hi-Res. Grover, the Efflorescence, now properly doubles the passive healing from Blossom on Grover without the need to die first. I had no idea. Kinessa fixed an issue where the Quickscope card was granting less of a benefit than intended. Ooh, I'm super excited to see what Quickscope feels like after the patch. And then surprisingly, under the UI section, there are a lot of changes that I thought were fantastic. The first one is kind of a nitpicky thing, but the healing values for scoreboard and MVP rewards in the end match lobby now show the same number. I was like, why are they different numbers? That made no sense to me. Okay, talents now have the hover over description on the scoreboard. While in the item store, you can now press tab to view other players' loadouts. Starting a shooting range match no longer causes Victor to be displayed on the UI. I always thought that was weird. Players can now unmute teammates in match with the mute button, so you can mute and you can unmute. It seemed like something that needed to be implemented from the beginning. Okay, whatever. And that wraps up everything about the 1.8 notes. I'm super excited to play in the PTS, and hopefully you are too. I'm gonna head out of here and mentally prepare myself for my new Furry Bay in 1.8. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna be one of those people who asks you to like and subscribe, so I'm not gonna ask.